Hi, this is Tom. Welcome to my channel. I've been doing a number of videos featuring ChatGPT doing Midjourney 6.0 prompts, and the technique today features different types of techniques. So this was my favorite one. This was an embroidery. So here we have a bento box and the technique of embroidery. And here's another one of that same prompt. Here we've got a cyanotype 5.2. This was the only 5.2 one I did. The others are 6.0s. Um, this is the same prompt, but with 6.0. And this one, I like the images quite a lot more, but I couldn't get it to be at more of a distance because they don't have the panning out. They don't have all of the options available that they have in 6.0. And I believe this one was even trying to get it at more of a distance, but you can see it did. You'll see as we go along, it does a number of these quite close, but maybe there could have been a way I could have gone around it. But mostly I wanted to show the images from the different techniques. But when they release 6.0, I think it's going to be really great. I mean, you can already see, look at how clear and nice these images are, even though it's a bit too close. But this was 5.2, and here you can see the composition uh, for this particular prompt looks quite a bit nicer. Something I liked about the technique that I used that I'll show a bit later is you get a really nice variety of different types of images. So that was the main thing I was really looking at. So we get everything from watercolors to anime and digital techniques. This one was a graffiti prompt that the prompt was asking for the bento box to be popped out from the image like 3D, and I think it captured that quite nicely. This might have been digital art technique as well as this one. I thought these were both rather pretty. This was watercolor and pretty nice. These are photographic techniques here. This one looks good enough to eat. This one I liked. I don't know exactly what the prompt was, but the technique of having the focus in the middle and kind of blurred front and back, I thought was nice. This one was a restoration type uh, idea. So like bento boxes that had been restored from the past. And here we have some more photography. This was this and the embroidery were my two favorites. So the embroidery was this one. I thought that was cool. And then with the collage, this was a collage, and I thought that was super cool. It the prompt asked for the image to be a collage of the different elements that are in the bento box, and the Midjourney did it 4 different ways, but this was my favorite way. I really like this prompt. I mean, this image quite a lot. And then we've got the last two that are photographic ones of the boxes. And if I go to the Midjourney um, Midjourney website, we can see the prompts. So this is a culinary photo exhibit. This is a watercolor. And for most of them, I didn't have the person's name or any person involved, but I asked it to do a few that had some given person to use as an influence. So some of these have those. a fine arts exhibit. Okay, this one, yeah, was digital art. Okay, I was trying to remember that. It says Beeple, the digital artist Beeple. And another image of the same prompt. And fine art etchings. Okay, I was wondering what this was. And high resolution food photograph. Okay. This was the graffiti one I mentioned, the 3D graffiti mural to try to have this pop out. And this was a cyanotype with 5.2. And then here we, whoops, I don't have the 6. Oh, I guess it's here. I guess it skipped. Here's with the 6.0. And I think when they get the glitches worked out, I think 6 is going to be amazing. As you can already see how nice this is going to look. This is a collection of bento boxes. Another one. This was a restoration one. I thought I wasn't that crazy about the execution here, but the prompt itself, these are all ChatGPT coming up with these prompts. I thought it was a great prompt. This was the embroidery one that I really liked. Another one. The collage, watercolor. And I did want to see what, origami. Okay. I would not have seen that. Very interesting. Okay. I was wondering what that was. And this was an animated city street where each passerby carries a uniquely designed bento box. Okay, I think I'll stop here with that. That showed some of the prompts. Really I wanted to show two things. One is I'm not going to go into detail in this video because I discussed this in more detail in the previous video, but I'll just mention very quickly that this is from a website called midlibrary.io. And definitely, if you're not familiar with this website, pay it a visit. It's got over 4,000 Midjourney styles, and very, very cool. And so this is where I grabbed the techniques from. Yesterday, I did a video with genres doing the same thing. You can just go to the website, and they have different ways of classifying. Like I said, there's over 4,000 of them. So you have to come up with some sort of way of getting it down to a more manageable number. And for this script that I'm going to show in just a moment, I put in techniques in the search bar, came up with 370 Midjourney techniques. So I went through one by one. I guess there's 6 pages for this one. And I tried to see if ChatGPT could just read it from the website, but that's still not like completely functionable in a timely way. So it was really easy just to grab it like this. So I just, and then copy and then paste it in the ChatGPT session. And then I had it build out the categories. So now I'll go to the script. And in the script, I guess I'll bring myself back into the picture. I didn't want to be blocking out the images. Okay, so here's the script. So it says ChatGPT instructions for prompts based on techniques. So I took the 370 techniques and I had ChatGPT build them out into categories. So I'll show that. So here we have the list of techniques. And I wanted to share something I found was quite interesting that I found out yesterday when I was doing the genres. And what I found out was that if I had to just write out a list of the genres, it couldn't work with it very well. Like I would ask it to do stuff and it would try to analyze, and it was like, I just gave this to you. You know what? Why, why can't you use this? And of course it can't. Well, sometimes it can explain well, sometimes it can't, but in this case, it didn't explain too well what was going on, but I sort of figured it out by trying different things. So one of the things I tried was I gave it a script I knew that worked, and I found that like it wasn't a case of it being outside of the context window, because the context window now is very large. It's 128,000 tokens, and so in trying to figure out what was going on, what I deduced was that if you structure the information, it can handle it a lot better. And so that's what gave me the idea of uh, not just making a big list, but structuring the list. And it seemed like if I include it in instructions, that it can manage it a lot better. And so I created a list of techniques. So there's 370 of them. And then I worked with ChatGPT to break them down into different categories. So I have a number of categories here. Um, the painting and drawing techniques, textile and fiber arts, sculpture and modeling, printmaking and engraving, and so on. And I had them break it into about 10 or 20 items in each list, and found that that has worked really well in terms of it being able to access the information and work with it. Okay, so maybe I will go through some more of the techniques, just the categories that it came up with, because it's kind of interesting. Paper and collage, ceramics and glasswork, photography and x-ray, traditional Japanese art, animation and digital arts, drafting and technique, drawing techniques, visualization and planning techniques. So this is like a topology map, tree maps, um, artistic and creative techniques. That's kind of vague, but you can see there's some interesting things that it has here with color sketch note style. I mean, that's something I would never have thought of. Wheat paste, I don't even know what that is. And so this is thanks to the midlibrary.io website. Really fantastic website. And then some photography techniques. That's what the rest of these look like. And I will mention this one. This is kind of interesting. Um, I've worked quite a bit with these. It says photographic film and development techniques, but these are all old style techniques. So, like from the 19th century. And you can get lots of really nice images using these sorts of techniques. And I would have called it, in fact, I think I'll go ahead and add maybe, I'm not sure what word to use. These are older. Uh, I'll see if I come up with a word. These are like 19th century, real old techniques. So here, these are using different types of film and lens. And that's really interesting to play around with, to see what the impact is on the images when you switch these things around. And then we have different artistic techniques in photography, comic book style, and so on. Let's see. There's a word, but I can't think of it that I want to use for that. Maybe I'll come up with it later. Okay, so for the script itself, okay, the way that I structured this, this got the idea from ChatGPT, which is just working with it. It's very interesting to interrogate it on how it itself works and ideas it has on trying to get it to do the things that you want it to do. And so it suggested putting the information first on what to do, and then what you're operating it on to put that at the end. So I tried that with this script and the genre script, and it seems to work quite well. So on the script itself, I tell it don't do images because it likes to try to do dolly images. So that says important directive. These are just text-based prompts. And then I tell it there's a bunch of techniques. I have a section about how to, oh man, I thought I fixed all of those. Okay, gotta correct that because I used the genre script that I came up with to replace the ones for the techniques. Okay, so I've got the important directive, introduction, and then the instructions on choosing the techniques for prompt crafting. And um, ChatGPT mostly wrote this. And then it's got guidelines for crafting technique-based prompts. Well, I say it was a joint effort. Like I say, it mostly wrote it, but um, I uh, yeah, it was a joint effort. The main it wrote most of the logic in terms of like what sorts of prompts to pick and how to put it together. But the main part that I had into it that I wanted to make sure that worked right was the structure of the prompt. And basically, I wanted to get about this length and complexity of prompt. And I got the idea for this from, I'll show this real quick. This is on the Midjourney website. On Discord, you want to go to Midjourney. You want to make sure you've got show all channels, the checkbox checked, so it'll show you everything. And then if you go to, well, there's two ways you can do this. One way is you can look for prompt chat. There's prompt facts is also helpful, but the one I was looking for is called prompt chat right here. So you can get lots of useful information. And this is where Midjourney suggests looking for information on how to do the 6.0 prompts. So you can share questions and ideas here. And there's mods. There's Midjourney mods here that will answer your questions, which is very cool. And then another thing you can do is you can just put V6 in the search box and you'll get results regarding version 6. And this is the particularly useful one. Really super helpful, which it tells you helpful V6 information. It is. These are facts on version 6 prompting that Midjourney put together. It's quite different from 5.2 prompting. And this is where I got the ideas for, I literally copied and pasted into ChatGPT the things that it said and worked with it to come up with information to give it on how to do the prompts and got one that I liked. And I've been using that as the example prompt and, telling it to follow this structure. And normally it does a good job, although you have to keep an eye on it because sometimes it'll stray. But that's worked really well to give it an example prompt to go with and try to get it to structure the prompts according to a prompt that you like. And then I've got a section on user interactions, which I found this technique works very well. And the technique is rather than explicitly specifying everything that you want, just describe it in broad terms because it can interrogate the script that you gave it to work with. And you can reference that script and what you want it to do. So, for example, I say briefly describe the purpose of the project in a few sentences let the user know how they might ask for prompts. It's very good at interpreting this sort of instruction. And a nice thing that I really like about this technique is that it's fluid. So I can change the content of what I put in the script, and this sort of information doesn't have to be rewritten. So that's something I like about this sort of technique for the user interactions. And I have another script called ChatGPT instructions for prompts based on genres. And I talk more about the Midjourney. Sorry, I keep wanting to say that. The Mid Library. I'm sure they did that on purpose. It's an abbreviation of Midjourney Library. So it's midlibrary.io. And yesterday I talked about using genres, and I used the same idea. And I'd encourage you, if you like this video, to take a look at that one as well. And I found that this idea has worked extremely well in terms of getting a wide variety of different types of looks, which is exactly what I was going for in trying to do this. And in this particular case, I let ChatGPT choose the types that I was wanting to do, but you can see that it would work very well to choose, like, look how great this ultraviolet photography looks. That is tremendous. So you could go through and just choose the particular images, the styles that you liked. Like this red scale print was another one that I liked. Here's a cyanotype. Um, and that would be another way of going about it, because it has all of the images listed from the prompt. So um, if you just gather collections of the ones that you like and give it to the script, that would work well. Well, I hope you found this useful and interesting. And until next time, thanks for watching.